Hi, let's talk about stances. Every kata begins in this stance. This is Mitsubi Dachi, or natural, normal beginning stance. My heels are together and my feet are out at about a 45-degree angle. Mitsubi Dachi. Okay, let's go into the stance you're going to use the most. Sanshin Dachi. In Sanshin stance, my feet are shoulder width apart. My front foot is turned slightly in, rear foot is pointed straight ahead. It's not necessary to tweak both of them in. As long as the rear foot is straight ahead, that's close enough. Front foot in slightly. My knees, there's a tendency when you stand like this for your knees to collapse in. You don't want that to happen. Push your knees away from each other. You're going to tuck your hips underneath. If there were a flashlight in your belly button, it should be pointed at the ceiling. Okay? So tuck your hips under, force your knees apart. This tightens all the muscles of your lower body and really roots you to the floor. That rooting to the floor is where all the power in your technique is going to come from. It also means that when people hit you or push you, you're not easily hurt or moved. Sanshin Dachi. Cool? Cool. Let's do a lunging stance. Zenkutsu Dachi, forward-leaning stance. Okay? A forward-leaning stance, my knee is bent, my forward knee is bent, my rear knee is straight ahead. I try to keep my hips square to the front. I don't do this. It's not a sideways stance. It's still a frontal stance like Sanshin is. My knee is bent, but it shouldn't be forward of your toes. That's kind of dangerous and unhealthy. You want to keep your knee right over the center of your foot. Cool, let's do this to the side. I keep my back straight, pushing my hips forward and under just like I do in Sanshin. This is a forward-leaning stance, or Zenkutsu Dachi. Next, aren't you glad you do Uechi-Ryu? We only have 3 or 4 stances. Kind of cool. Next stance is Niko Ashi Dachi, which means cat's leg stance. I'm going to show you it frontal and then in profile. A lot of people teach it with this, with the rear foot pointed out that way. That exposes your rear leg to attack. The insides of your legs are pretty vulnerable no matter how conditioned you are. So I like to do this at about a 45-degree angle on my rear foot. My front foot is pointed directly ahead. Take your rear leg, bend it, and pretend you're about to sit on something. You know, this summer, when you go down to the beach and there might be like a metal bench and you're thinking about sitting on it, but it could be really hot and you're just wearing a bathing suit. So you sit on it kind of carefully because you want to lift yourself back up. That's the sensation you want in a Niko Ashi Dachi, that you're putting your weight down on something under control. In Sanshin, your hips are forward. This is the opposite. Your hips go back and out. Most of my weight is on my, in this stance, this is my right leg. Almost all your weight's on your right leg. And the left leg is just there to balance you a little bit. Right? This is Niko Ashi Dachi. To switch from Niko facing this way to Niko facing that way, it's really easy. The width of the stance doesn't have to change. I just pivot my foot and lift the heel on the other one. Niko this way. Cool. Practice. And this way. Niko Ashi Dachi. And the last one, it doesn't show up in katas, but we sometimes use it in class. It's called a Hiba Dachi, or horse riding stance. Feet are parallel, my knees are bent outward, right, away from my center. My hips are tucked underneath. We use this to strengthen and stretch our legs so that we get nice and strong, nice powerful kicks. Practice your stances.